Ladies and gentlemen, I must warn you, I had a really good day today. I am the new school. And what a wild ride this December 15th through January 15th has been. What have we seen so far? Some fuddy-duddy impeachment that went nowhere. Let's see. Iran attacked us in Iraq, and then we attacked Iran. And Australia totally caught on fire. Hong Kong's having a bunch of riots. The Cesar of Omar died. We lost Neil Peart, Buck Henry, and the Pluto-Saturn conjunction is around the 12th. And now Uranus has stationed and gone direct, so we have no planets in retrograde. Thank the Lord, our atmospheric defense team, I think, kept this thing from being a total nightmare. And we didn't get a ton of tornado spin-ups, but it is not over. But I do feel guilty for being in such a good mood after having such a good day with nothing really special happening, except for everything is special. And I'd like to say thanks again to Nancy, Maria, Susan, Asteroid Fight Club. Y'all are awesome. That was probably not the best gift to have up for this segue. If I understand correctly, we did lose 3 people in Alabama to tornadoes today. And as I've said before, I was hoping as your planetary defense commander not to lose anyone. And so this storm was not as bad as I thought it would be. It still took some lives that could have been avoided. And it's still going. And so that squall line has definitely brought some heavy winds, and it has done some tornado spin-ups. Then the whole 1,500 earthquakes in Puerto Rico, and it was 2,000 in the last 30 days. And we had a 6-0 last night in Puerto Rico. So you have a 6-0, a 6-4 during this watch from the 15th to the 15th. We had 3 6s in British Columbia, Canada. Let's see, Mexico's had a couple 6s. We've had some major Popocatépetl volcano explosions, eruptions. And at this point, the people in Puerto Rico are super freaked, and rightly so. And it's weird that the majority of all these earthquakes are happening in one single spot. I would guess there's definitely some volcanic activity happening, unless some good guy force or bad guy force is building an underground base really fast. But it's probably volcanoes, as you have what is known as the Puerto Rican Trench. It's these are volcanic islands. And so I definitely think a larger earthquake, this is the trench, is possible for sure. And a volcanic eruption is also possible. And Australia's totally catching on fire again. And it's weird, is there's Australia and Puerto Rico, and then a giant wall of noise between them and solutions. Beth Carpenter, TDS Weather, the pattern change we've been waiting for, ? Now remember, my prediction was hot and cold, and the hot and the cold, and then maybe a third cold, but we might only get 2 more cold shots and then winter's over. Or 3 cold shots, but it's going to definitely switch back and forth between hot and cold, hot, cold. There's going to be a big battle in this Game of Thrones 2020. Level up. GFS and Euro ensemble guidance suggests the flip to much colder air nationwide beginning late next week. With this frothiness in eastern half of the U.S., we'll keep the active pattern going as well. We're talking Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the United States. Weather. And so I'm guessing from now till March, we'll probably get a cold burst, and a hot burst, and maybe a really cold burst, and then it'll just be hot and done, or we'll get one more cold. So we'll either get 3 cold bursts or 2 before summer shows up. Although it's been like spring around Texas most of the time. Scenes from Toronto, Valley Parkway, all southbound lanes have been closed due to flooding. Earthquake activity day, Fuego, Payaba, Popocatépetl. See how this whole volcanic range is lit, and notice how the one in so we have volcano activity here and here. So yeah, and remember, with volcanic activity is just going to increase with all the gas giants on the same side. The hot side is hot, and the cold side, which is in British Columbia, Canada right now, is cold. Freezing. Below freezing, actually. Although whoever this dude is he's going to bed now, or her, with windows open, 60 degrees, almost 40 degrees above normal. Wow. Wonder where they live. Chicago, significant lakeshore flooding and erosion is ongoing. Expect 14 to 18-foot waves. Lake waves are weird. Occasionally 23-foot waves, with a storm surge of 2 feet along the Illinois lakeshore. Waves and strong north winds will continue through this evening. Be sure to stay away from flood-prone areas. I've never seen waves this big crashing up so far on the Lakeshore Drive. The wind is incredible. Yeah, dude, and those are the Great Lakes. And so the giant wall of wind has been pushing the waves pretty high. Because a lake is totally different than an ocean. Well, kind of. They're kind of the same, but they're kind of different. I guess oceans are giant lakes. Or lakes are tiny oceans. And if you're wondering how you get like warm air, rain, freezing rain, ice pellets, snow, this graphic should sum it up simply for you. All right, stop, collaborate, and listen. THORnews is back on a thank you adventure. You guys are super awesome. And that's where the rap stops. This is why I've been suggesting building new cities, is because we're going to have people, Americans, that, if natural disasters are to strike, like I've predicted, like volcanoes and earthquakes that you can adapt to, tsunamis, then you should start adapting to them ahead of time. And so technically, since 2015, I've been saying anyone who wants to leave Puerto Rico, it might be a good idea, and that no matter where the natural disasters might occur, if we started building new cities and safe places, we would be prepared for stuff like this. 2 hours ago, Storm Chaser Nick was reminding people in Cincinnati to charge your devices. You guys are under tornado watch. Warning. Bobby Storm expressing the disappointment of a snow weenie. No disrespect. I love Bobby. Not exactly winter weather, but weather worth paying attention to. Brad Panovich in Panavision. There have been severe thunderstorm warnings along the entire line as it's moved east. Expect 50 to 60 mile-per-hour winds in the line across the entire area. Yes, this includes your town, county, and location. Clitoris weather, North Carolina weather, South Carolina weather. And if somehow your parents watching that with your kids, they probably just think it's a town. Heck, they're probably adults who don't even know the term. Jason J. R. Patton, the general's son. Earthquake report, aftershocks. Interpretive posters and mechanisms in comparison. 6.4 versus 5.9 intensity. And liquefaction suspectability when it liquefies the terrain. But yeah, it has a lot to do with, what do they call it? The shallowness of where the earthquakes are. And it's just weird that it's all under here. And so that's, the Caribbean plate. There's an image down here. See, like, the Caribbean plate, man, like, this whole thing could slip. We should spend a whole lot more money on earthquake and volcano science. Nathan the Nerd is joking that hurricane season is started really early. Arthur, Bertha. And if we have volcanic activity heating up here, then we're definitely going to see some hot over here that's going to fight with the Arctic cold air. It's time for all the good people and all the leaders to step up, work it out. Teamwork. Man, UFOs, fireballs, meteorites, meteors love volcanoes. This is Popocatépetl. 1/10/2020. And you could see multiple fireballs flying by. Man, I would love to go visit that volcano. Just for a day or two. 8 hours ago, James Wilson letting us know tornadoes, damaging thunderstorm winds continue as storm moves across the south. Threat for more severe in the next 6 hours. Oh, that was 8 hours ago. But this storm is still kicking. And like I said, it had a ton of severe weather reports. If you survived and you didn't want to, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I checked the thing, man, and Puerto Rico's had 2,167 earthquakes in the last 30 days. Most of them being centered there, although in the last 24 hours we had almost a 5 by Guadalupe. Lawrence MacDonald, emerging market central bank policy rates. 2019, 5.5. 2015, 7.5. EM policy rate cuts over the last 6 months are at levels seen this century in the times of financial crisis. Remember, I pretty much said there's a 95% chance there will be a stock market crash in 2020 because you have to cool that shit off or it breaks to the upside. Happy fun time adventures ahead. We should always be cool, man. A little more coolness, a little more comedy, a little more awesome. I love you, Minnesota. I want to come up again and ride one of those ducks, which is like a boat that rides on roads and there are amazing lakes in Minnesota. Thank you very much. I get so happy anytime I get a letter. The stock market is not the economy. Sarah Rule, Nick Jack Pappas. The Dow Jones had an increase over the last 3 years of 44%. Median household income has only gone up 1.6%. Minimum wage has stayed the same. So, I don't know. It should be pretty clear, man. The stock market's almost a way to launder money. Tennessee winds blew a train off its thingy. Have the weather Twitter wars been freaking awesome or what? Cranky Weather Guy is so freaking cool and he's really talented. This was really neat. This we talk about like the people who are like it's always cold, or the people who are like it's always hot. It's always. And I'm like in the middle. Cranky and I are in the middle. Cranky, we're here. We're the storm in the middle. Cranky and I are the storm. Okay, great. I love you, other Twitter. This tweet seemed sexy. I don't know. Maybe I misinterpret things. Yo, we're gonna miss you, Neil. Thank you for being a drummer god. And please let the show play on, and let's all save and resurrect rock and roll. Today's Tom Sawyer. Solar cycle 25 equals 7. Nope, tornado didn't hit Houston. But Brett Buffington, the most significant damage, letting us know a Chevron gas station gave up the ghost. Super women are fun to think about. Oh.